Oh, good evening, everybody. Let's see what the lag is. Yeah, I can pronounce kebab, Holly. That's about it. Right, we're looking at.
I've got sound.
You got sound? Yeah, we're live there now. That's quite a big lag on YouTube, but hey. How are we tonight? Holly, Gary, obviously, the lovely Mrs. W. Right, let's go over to the other camera again. I had it on just now and it totally fucked up again on me, but it's a better one. Loud and clear. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Holly. Yeah, I won't eat much that I can't pronounce. Good evening, Marines. So again, I don't know how long you can hear my throat's not that clever tonight again. Stitch, good evening, sweetheart. I will be opening the panel up in a bit if anybody wants to jump up. We'll see how we go from there. Lee, good evening. How many we got in? 15 so far. Well, again, on the political front, it's been a bit of a stitch-up week with them all, hasn't it? They've actually laid the Assisted Dying Act on the table now, so that will be getting discussed in November, I think it is. Dr. Kersey, good evening.
Yeah, what did I say? End of November.
End of November, yeah.
28th, 29th, I think it was.
Jen, good evening. But yeah, they're just going around in circles. You know, I think they're just biding their time, messing everybody about until the what do you call it?
Budget.
That's the word I was looking for. My fucking brain.
Pocket.
No, you don't need to order a toaster, Holly. They'll pay for it. Phil, good evening. But some of the things, I mean, I've seen a rough draft of it or heard them discussing it. And they said, it'll initially be for anybody at the end of life with no more than 6 months to live. Well, knowing due process in this country and the fact that they'd have to get a high court judge to sign it off each time for every case, then...
And two doctors.
You'd probably die before they get it passed. Amroth, good evening. You're new to the channel, aren't you? I haven't seen your name before, other than in the comments today on today's video.
Unless, of course, it's the Court of King Caractacus.
It could be. Toast with lashings of butter. But, many other countries are now putting this in place. Canada's had it for a while. But they're a different entity. They're offering it to not just to people that are terminal. They're offering it to anybody that just hasn't got a decent life, I think. Yes, exactly, Jen. Good evening, lurkers. We know you're out there. We know you're there. So how's your week been, guys?
Don't know, Holly. He needs to tell us. I mean, it is quite a reasonably new profile. It is. Yeah, okay. Nice one. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, you can't hide from Mrs. W.
You'll be surprised what people are capable of on here. Now, I have got a bit of a warning. Yeah, I was banned again. A bit of a warning to give out on about some channels. Well, not so much a warning, just be aware. Now, there's been a glut of channels popping up now, putting out news, British news, They're using automated voices, AI voices, oh, pardon me, and stuff like that. Now, usually their news is a week late. Why, I don't know. But if you actually go into them and look at them, they're not actually British. Oh, what's going on here? Unfortunately. So, and also some of the news they're putting out isn't, shall we say, kosher. Now, I'll give an example here. Now, this one, as you can see, is from Nepal. Now, all of these, not all of them, some of them are. Oh, where's my little doodah gone? Oh, for crying out loud. There we go. Now, not all of them are foreign, but many of them seem to be. A lot of them are coming from Spain, France, a few from Germany, that one from Nepal. I've seen a few Chinese ones, believe it or not, as well. But they're all professing to be English. They've all got Union Jacks all over their profile and using English names. It's really sad because now we can't trust these channels. You know, the English ones that are there, you've got to go into their profile and look to see if they're English. Was indistinguishable from Max Headroom. What, and going in the kitchen, itching. Yeah, a lot of them aren't English, and the news, it's easy to tell, they're usually about a week behind. I mean, there was one went up today going on about breaking news, and it was actually a speech that was made last week. Just, you know, be aware of what you listen to, because they're going on about how mainstream media now are changing. And the fact that Sly News is losing a lot of viewers because of the way they've turned. Good evening, Karen. And they keep saying that many people are now turning to the likes of YouTube, Twitter. Was that you?
Fireworks?
Fireworks? Worse.
Is it?
Oh. It sounded like it, didn't it? I couldn't see any flashes out.
It was either a firework, one of those crackle fireworks, or rain blowing against something.
But yeah, oh, I've lost where I was now. God, fucking hell. Oh, Sly News, yeah. A lot of people, you know, relying on social media a lot more and platforms on here. Good evening, Paulette. Now, with mainstream media, they're usually a one-horse show when they're talking. You know that they're going to be giving it bullshit. But again, on social media and these media platforms now, you have to really pick through what you see, what you use. If you're a content producer, you have to decide what stories you're going to use, what ones you're going to put out. Because, and I've been caught out with it before in the past, I'm a bit more wary now. Always do your research. Look into the story. If it's a story from a local area in this country, look at the local press from that area newspapers, local TV stations, because not all of them are on the ball, and not all of them are kosher. You know, we've seen this now. It's coming out about these channels that wound up about the so-called riots. Well, I didn't consider them riots, and it wasn't as widespread as they put out. But it was foreign channels mainly winding people up in this country. They've even admitted that it was. And to prove a point, I won't mention any names, but in PAP's Discord, as you know, I'm a moderator in there. There was a post after a few of those incidents about going and protesting outside solicitors' offices, hotels, immigration solicitors and stuff like that. Now, I pulled that down. I took it down. One or two said, why? You know, it was, that's what's going to happen. It's being organised. Well, no, it wasn't. That was put there simply to wind people up, to get people to turn up so they could be arrested. Now, I had prior knowledge of this. Obviously, other people didn't bother looking into it and just took it as read.
Can I just say that the person that posted it did not have that intention in?
No, I will admit the person that posted it didn't know, posted it in good faith. And it wasn't the one that posted it that actually moaned about it being took down either. So I will say that they were in the dark.
Sorry, the way you described it there was a bit ambiguous.
Yeah, no, that's fair shout. I would have said that anyway. But this is the sort of thing we're facing now.
Sorry about the fireworks, not us.
Yes. Bit fucking premature, you cunt. Jesus, it doesn't even sound like a decent display, to be honest. I stand up to look out and now they stop. There's a couple of doors up that way. Might be a birthday or something.
It could be a birthday, but you don't know how big it is.
Noisy bastards. It's all right, they're only cheap ones, Holly, so they won't last that long. But yeah, you've got to be very, very careful now. They will post stuff to get you to react to it. And your reaction to it is what they want, because that could get you pulled down. It could also get your door kicked in. And there's agitators out there. We know they're there. They've been there for a long time. The WEF, some time back, admitted that they paid over 10,000 people to come on the internet, on all platforms, just to stir it all up. No, this is Jen, Gary. The WEF actually admitted it, that they were paying these people. And there is, I can't remember the site of it now. There is one video that got put up a little while back, which actually had a price list of how much they get paid to do the disruption. Like if they get somebody to react to one of their comments or a post, they get a certain amount. If they can get someone sharing it, they get a bigger amount. If they can get someone to share the video, they get a larger amount. And some of them can earn tens of thousands of dollars a month with what they're doing. So just be aware of that, people. Well, I watch it. I'll just call you Roth. It's easier. I just watch it, Roth, as you know. I look for stories on there. And I'll admit I look for stories on mainstream media. But I'll go and look at the background to those stories. Look at where they're coming from. Who's putting those stories out there. Because there's even well-known YouTubers that are a hell of a lot bigger than me. Twist these stories. Oh, there goes the camera. Okay, so we're not going to be using that one much tonight then, are we? Because that's the second time it's fucked up tonight. Yeah, you've got to be very, very careful, especially now as they're clamping down. Right, plug that back in there. That brings that one back online. So, well, it looks like we're going to have to stick with this one. Well, I think your name too. Yeah, but the thing is, being as I'm not actually housebound, but if I go out, there's not a lot I can do outside. I can't go for a walk. I just get too knackered. I mean, I'll walk up to the toilet upstairs and come back, and I'm totally out of breath. Yeah. So my world is on here. All my friends are on here. I can come on here. I can talk to my friends through whatever platforms, whatever. Yeah, and unfortunately, guys, it's only going to get harder. As I've always said, social media is its own worst enemy. Yes, Amroth, we've both been off now for quite a few months. And, of course, you haven't been in for a while, have you? And since I've been off, I've also now been diagnosed with COPD. I believe this is the reason for the growly voice and the breathing and that at the moment. I do struggle with my breathing. I'm just waiting to hear from a consultant now. They're booking me in with a consultant. I've got to have sleep tests. I've already done the basic breathing test, and they stopped me halfway through because I'd nearly passed out. But yeah, the doctor there on the spot said, yeah, you know, I'm 99.999% sure that, yeah, you've got quite a bad dose of COPD there. Even if I try and talk a long sentence, I run out of breath. So. Yeah, well, that's one thing I don't do, Jen. I don't drink alcohol. Heather likes a tipple now and again, but...
and again.
And again, and again, and again. I don't.
Don't deny it.
But no, my breathing problems and that have only started since I've given up the smoking, to be honest. You know, I thought giving up the devil's lettuce might have helped, and then continued on to give up the ciggies properly, and my breathing, and that's gone downhill since, which is very strange.
I think, in all fairness, darling, you gave up because your breathing was getting worse, and it's continued to get worse.
Yeah, I'm rough. It's you know, it wasn't the financial side that gave us the incentive. I mean, we've tried before, and one of us would give up and the other wouldn't. And so this time we said, well, the only way we're going to do it is do it together. We both had to do it. And it's worked. I won't say I haven't had the earning for one. I mean, even now and again, now I really do feel like having one sometimes, but
I won't let you.
But with neither of us having any, there isn't the opportunity to say, oh, give us one of your smokes, like, you know. It would mean going out and spending minimum of, 15 quid to buy something. So, good evening, Graham. Yeah, no worries, mate. I know you only drops in for a short time each one. Yeah, I know you have, Ollie. You're a bad bugger. But but yeah, it may clear. It may clear, as Gary said. But I've had issues with my throat for quite some time. Not because she tried to cut it or anything. As I said before, it all stems back to the fire, where I did some damage in there. That's the thing, Amroth. I don't really get stressed out over anything. Not outwardly, anyway. You know, yeah, I get annoyed and the old blood pressure goes up with some of the stories I read or some of the stories I cover, as most people's would. But in my medical state at the moment, that's a bad thing for me. So I do try to keep myself to a level. If I find myself getting wound up when I'm doing a story on a video, I have cut them short at times simply to go away and calm down. And the thing is, I don't like editing up once I've started. I don't mind putting stuff in, but I've always no, once I've started, you keep going. It comes across as being more honest. You know, sometimes things slip out that shouldn't be said. If they're not too bad, I leave them in. If I know it's something that will get me into trouble, then yeah, I will mute it or cut that little bit out, but very, very rarely. Yes, Graham. Well, that's it, Amroth. I mean, I used to enjoy working. I still would if I could. But it's just impossible for me now. Yes, people saying, I mean, we've often sat here and discussed this. Yes, I can sit in front of a computer, but people see me for a couple of hours once a week on a live stream, which usually I cut short because I'm knackered, or in a 10-minute video. Now, after a live stream or even after a video, sometimes I'll have to go and lie down because I'm absolutely shattered. I mean, my body aches, my muscles ache. I start to get cramps, headaches, and they've been getting a bit worse lately. In fact, I meant to take a couple of painkillers before I fired up tonight, but I forgot. But yeah, we've got the budget coming up, but the money they're spending, or say they're going to spend now, is getting ridiculous. Now, as I said before, they keep saying they're going to stop the boats. They keep saying they're going after the smuggling gangs. Well, they've been ripping the smuggling gangs apart for 3 years now, and nothing's changed. So that tactic doesn't fucking work, and it's only them that don't realise it. Now, they've already said they're going to spend over, I think it was 500 million. I think it was 520 odd million on helping these people with either accommodation, whatever, for the next 8 years. So, you know, they're not going to stop them. They're planning to spend more money on them. And when you think it's costing us between 8 and 10 million a day now to keep the fuckers here, and they're coming after people on benefits, all right, fair enough. There are people out there on benefits that are doing the scams on it, and they don't need to be on them, or they shouldn't be on them. But there is a lot of people that do. Good evening, Gordo. And they're the ones that are going to suffer because they're the honest ones. They'll tell what they need to know. Yet these fuckers get everything for nothing. And that does put my blood pressure up. The carbon capture. Yeah, okay, let's catch the carbon. Let's store the carbon. What are you going to do with it when that storage is full? Open another one, and another one, and another one. And what happens when you've got nowhere to store it? What are you going to do? Just let it all go and start again? Give it all in one big hit? Grumpy Sapper, good evening, mate. You know? It's absolutely ridiculous. And that prick Lammy, well, you know, discount the fact that he's black, but he's bleating on about the slavery repatriations again. And he wants us to pay 200 billion. Get to fuck, you know? It's nothing to do with us. It was hundreds of years ago. And the fact that it was his own people, well, it wasn't his own people because he's from Guyana, apparently. It was their own people that sold him into slavery. You know, it's nothing to do with us. We were the main ones that stopped it. So how he can turn around and say that we should pay, Lammy, go fuck yourself, basically. Absolutely ridiculous. And then again, this investment seminar, whatever it was, shit that they had on Monday, wasn't it? To me, that is Sunak sat there holding out the begging bowl. Sunak? Where did I get Sunak from? Starmer.
Well, Starmer called him Prime Minister again, didn't he?
Holding out the begging bowl. You know, he's worse than fucking Zelensky. You know, Zelensky's got a reason to hold a bowl out, although he shouldn't be given anything because they've got more than enough. They've had more than enough. They've had more than enough arms and money to win the fucking war and invade Russia. But that's all he's doing. And like I said in the video, he has driven our homegrown investors out of the country, inviting foreigners to invest in the country. Funny how he didn't ask Musk, wasn't it? But these are the people that will buy into power, the infrastructure, the major industries, of which there's very few left now because he's fucking killed them all. All right, Graham, no worries, mate. Take it easy, buddy. Yeah, he's selling off the country, or what's left of it. I mean, they've already announced the Energy Security Department, whatever they are, have already said be ready for blackouts this winter. Yes, cool. But, you know, we've only got, with the green eco shit, well, I don't hear green and net zero shit. All I hear is bullshit bollocks when they start talking about that, because we ain't never going to get to that. We can only produce 20% of our own power. You know, they've destroyed all the power stations. I said yesterday, or was it Monday, the nuclear power stations that we've got are on their last legs. They're not fit for purpose anymore. They said they're building new ones, but we haven't seen any. So what we're doing, we're buying off the EU. Now, as the EU want to dominate us, all they've got to do is tell us we've got to do this or we'll shut your fucking power off. You know? Gary, if you get a text from the NHS, the opt-out section at the bottom of those texts does work. And as long as you've got your NHS number or your postcode that you're registered with at your GP, it is quite easy to stop them coming. The GPs will still send them, but if you're very, very umpty with them, like I got, they stop sending them as well. Is that raining now?
Sounds like it's chucking it.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah, now. Yeah, I got one the other day, Gary. I stopped my GP surgery doing it. I get one a year for the flu jab. That's it. And they said I'd get that. They can't stop that. But I was getting the NHS ones. But now I've stopped it, and I've got the thing to say that my preferences have been changed, and I shouldn't get any more. If you get any letters, just put return to sender, not wanted here on them and post them. Been raining since this afternoon. We've had it like misty here, Jen. Of course, that is pissing it down. Mind you, the gutter leaks out the back. We've got the council coming next week to fix that.
This week,
No, next week.
Thursday, tomorrow.
Not the gutter, they're not.
Oh no.
27th, they're fitting the gutter.
Sorry, no, my bad. Getting all excited.
I would normally get up there and fix it myself, but one, I haven't got a ladder that's long enough to get up there, and two,
I don't want you to kill
she
yourself.
won't let me anyway. She doesn't want me up the ladders. Yeah, I've had loads of them, Holly. I did return one with a note in there saying I ain't interested. I said, don't bother sending me any more because you won't get any answers. And I haven't had one since. Again, I believe I haven't looked into it, but apparently they have got an opt-out thing where they will stop sending you from them. Yeah, Holly, she won't let me do it anyway. I mean, I'd only need to be up there 5 minutes, if that, but she still wouldn't let me do it. So she doesn't even like me getting up in the loft. Yeah, I understand why. But I do have the odd dizzy spell. What a stitch up there. We're all vulnerable, Gary. We're all vulnerable, especially with this government. Can't be true. Honestly, Gordo, when I was doing the roofing, mate, even up to a couple of years back, when I was doing the maintenance on Heather's old office, I wouldn't even bother with a ladder. I'd climb up the scaffold. I'd be up there doing the tiling and the slating and lead work and that. And it never used to bother me. I used to work for a roofing company down in Cornwall, mate of mine.
Before health and safety.
Yeah, well, we never took not a lot of notice of health and safety anyway.
That's
down
what
there.
I mean. It was before health and safety took over.
It was,
And can't do this and you need that.
Yeah, we'd walk up and down the battens and the roofs, and we've even dangled each other over the ridge with a rope to do a repair rather than get a scaffold up. Yeah, I used to hang out the windows here to clean the outside of the upstairs ones, Ollie, but I use a long stick now. Which reminds me, it's something that's got to be done again. I might leave it till after the winter now, actually.
I might see if I can find a window cleaner or get him to come around once, pay him to get rid of all the shit and then not bother again.
Gary, good evening. Perhaps that's your friend, didn't I? Yeah, I'm quite good at the old tree surgery as well. when the family had the landscaping company. That was one of my fortes. I've got a whole workshop out there, Gordo. I've got virtually every tool you can think of, power tools, hand tools. But I do prefer to use the hand tools rather than power tools. Just traditional. Drill to his hand with a cordless drill. Well, I'll tell you what, Gordo. I don't know whether you can see it on there. But I've got a scar there. That's first day of lockdown. I actually put a chisel right through my hand. Literally. In the palm of my hand, out the other side. My own fault for not using it properly. As I say, that was the first day of lockdown. Luckily enough, I just sharpened and cleaned the chisel. The blade was oiled, but when I oil my chisel blades, I always use vegetable oil and not the normal oil that people would use. So it was clean. And I just cleaned it, dressed it. I think I might have took a chip off the bone of my thumb, but there's a little thing floating around in there. But other than that, it's never bothered me. It was sore for a few days. Yeah, it hurts, doesn't it, Amroth? I had some bits stuck in my arm. I had one of the blades exploded on me. Carbon disc. Wire brush is just as bad. I've got scars all over the bloody place.
And yet he calls me dangerous.
Yeah, but I was using dangerous tools, you know.
Don't let me touch him.
I've got the bench saw out there and all sorts. Yeah, if you only grazed it, it would, Amroth. The splinters when them discs explode. I tell you, they're frightening. Good evening, sir. You always give me PTSD. Well, during lockdown, Gary, I was always out I've done it for years. I was always out in my workshop. I was known as a Mr. Fix-It. If someone had something broken, they'd bring it round. And 9 times out of 10, I'd get it working or be able to bodge it or fix it. But I just haven't got the energy to go out there now. I have got to go out. Possibly tomorrow if I can keep myself going for 10 minutes because I've got to make some blocks to go under the seat of me office chair here. It's the ram's gone and my legs are like all at the wrong angle and it gives me a bad stomach when I'm sat here for a while. So I've got to make some blocks for underneath, only a 3-inch packer. I've already found over the last couple of days, I found the bits and pieces to do it with. I've just got to put it all together. And as you know, on a Thursday after a live, I don't normally do a video. So I'm going to try and get myself out there for 10 minutes. I've got quite a load, Gary. I've made windows, all sorts for the last lot were for like a kiddie's treehouse. My mate wanted it all to scale. So I made some windows that were like 2 foot by about 3 foot, opening, separate multi-panes, a stable door to go on it. So it was all scaled down to fit the treehouse. And I used to look after buildings that were grade 2 listed, so you needed some of the old school skills to do that because obviously you can't use modern stuff in there. It had to be as was. if you're fixing anything.
I remember the boss's face when he asked you where you got the skirting from.
Yeah, yeah. And the coving.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah, I had to redo a room over there, one of the offices, and the skirting it's one I'd never seen before. I'd never seen the profile before, and I've never seen pictures of it. But I bought a section of it home on a Friday, and I milled up with my router and several different bits, exact copy of it. He was expecting me just to get something near to it, but what I'd made actually matched it perfectly. And again, with the coving, the plaster coving, well, I didn't use horsehair. I actually used Hessian, but all I did was make up a wooden profile, mixed my own plaster and laid it on, and matched the coving, because you can't buy it anymore. Even to fixing the finials into it and moulding the finials. He was quite impressed with that. Yeah, it is proper work at Amroth, and it's work I used to enjoy. I've got the routers and all the bits, but I've actually got a Stanley plane. I think it's a number two plane, where you can actually fit two different profile blades in it. And I've got all the curved blades to do edgings and mouldings by hand. Upstairs we had a little box room, and it is a little box room. You'd be lucky to fit a single bed in there. We were chucking out two big double tall wardrobes, but I took the doors off them, put some runners on and rollers, shut off a quarter of the room with these doors in the middle. It's like a giant wardrobe, walk-in wardrobe, and created like a little dressing room for Heather. There was nothing else we could do with the room. It wasn't big enough for anything. I haven't got any pictures on this computer of my workshop, actually, but I've got all sorts out there. I've got a table saw, bench drills, pillar drills, a homemade lathe, wood lathe, homemade bench planer, moulder. Those are hammers. And I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 cordless drills, probably half a dozen electric drills as well, with several different ones. Yeah, I'll have to open that, Holly. Hang on. There we go. Yeah, I've done ponds, patios. I'm also trained properly for why hasn't that come up? Dry stone walling and the like. Nice.
oh, you're looking at stuff on.
Yeah,
Discord.
I'm looking at. Oh, I'd be very careful with that pond, though, Gordo. If you haven't allowed for expansion and angled sizes, if it freezes. But no, that looks okay. Trouble is, if I started building something like that size and shape out there, straight away she'd be thinking it's a grave. Very nice. You're taking a JCB engine apart. Oh, I hate diesels. I absolutely hate working on diesels. I mean, we used to do big stone ones. Butyl liners. We did one out in Wiltshire. The top one, probably 30 foot be 50 foot. And then like an ornamental stream running down the garden into a section of ponds with an ornamental stone bridge across the middle. That was a few years ago, mind. My brother used to have quite a big one as well. He used to keep koi. I've never done one out here. I got enough trouble keeping up maintenance with everything out there now without adding any more to it.
Never wanted a pond. Didn't want a pond because we've got the grandkids growing up and coming round, and the last thing you want is a big puddle that they can kill themselves in.
Right, well, we'll put that in. We'll open that up for a little while. I know Holly was going to come up. As usual, I will be vetting in the background. Anybody that does click on the link. Amroth, we've got quite a yard over here, a couple of miles up the road. They renovate and repair train stuff, carriages, engines, bogies, and that sort of stuff. I've had a look in there, and they've got some big industrial machines in there, believe me. Yeah, all right, Ollie, no worries, darling. Just to make a change this week. There are one or two people that I know usually lurk in the background that possibly want to come up. There are a couple that I won't have up, but there you go. I haven't got the energy to dig ours up to bury anybody under it now. Yeah, my biggest forte, Amroth, was the V8 engines, obviously. These new ones nowadays, I mean, even the Skyline I had, my mate had to do most of the tuning on that for me because it's done by computer. And I can't get on with that. I much prefer mechanical. Yeah, I'd rather have a supercharger than a turbo. I know where I am with them. But so many people, especially on the racing front, go too far. I can understand with the big teams that are spending millions of dollars and pounds on cars. But when you actually measure the air density and pressure before you actually dial in how much fuel and air you're going to put in your engine for less than 4 seconds run, yeah. But I can understand it when they're running, difference of the thousandths of a second between races and what have you. Even Grand Prix cars do it. The Grand Prix teams adjust their engines according to altitude above sea level. But yeah, you think, God, I must get out and scrape the patio off somehow as well. I've got to spray it first. The grass needs one final cut before the winter. Hopefully, if I do it just before a frost, it might kill it. Will save a lot of me problems. this is the next thing I gotta get rid of. But the doctor did say, the one that did the test said that this is probably nothing to do with the issues I've got in there. And it's certainly got nothing to do with the nicotine or anything. It's not the nicotine free, this one, it's ultra low. So it's more of doing something with your hand rather than enjoying it.
At this point, Dan would have brought the conversation right down into the gutter.
Yeah. Lefty go nuts with hate. I don't mind seeing the wildlife out there, Roth. I mean, we're not actually in the city. We're on the outskirts of the town here, Sutton. As I say, literally 2 minutes walk. Over the back there, we've got a quite a big nature reserve and walk. Good evening, Tony. And I'd like, in early mornings when I'm sat here just looking for stories and what I'm going to do and planning out my day, I can sit here, I can watch squirrels going up and down the fence, playing with their nuts. The school across the road, I've walked to the corner shop before, looked out across the playing field in the middle of an afternoon and seen a fox running around out there. We quite often lay in bed and I can hear the fox cubs playing out on the grass out the front there, and you can hear the mother calling them.
Have you seen the buzzard recently?
I haven't seen the buzzard recently. All the not stork, the heron. Quite often lay in bed and you can hear the squirrels, fucking owls hooting at night out there.
I haven't seen the bat go past for a while, but
it's just a shame that the cars go past regular. Otherwise, it would. With the windows open and the curtains drawn, you could almost be in the countryside sometimes with the noise. Well, except for the trains going past as well, I suppose. But
and the idiots next door with the fireworks.
yeah. But I was born in a farming community. There's sounds that I always like to hear. Prefab. Yeah, I'm rough. I prefer when I was working on stuff to work on the older stuff. I like the challenge of keeping older stuff working, you know, like myself. Yeah, that's because they echo quite big off of anything, Jen. You know, the sound of an owl's hoot, it'll reverberate off other trees, bushes, and they're that sort of hollow sound anyway. B73. We're actually in B72, Gary. Near Tesco's. You deliver shopping trolleys.
Hang on, which one's that? Is that the big one?
Princess Park, is that, Gary?
Yeah, hang on.
B73. Yeah, check out the postcode. Bristol or Bradford. Yeah, that could be Princess Park, Gary. That's the nearest big Tesco's to us. What's the name of the pub there? Beggar's Bush. Is it Beggar's Bush?
Yeah.
Beggar's Bush, yeah. Pub on the corner. New Oscar. Yeah. That's Princess Alice Park, yeah. Yeah, we know that one, Gary. We're literally, a couple of miles from there?
That postcode hasn't come up with Princess Park.
Well, he's just put the name New Oscar at Princess Alice Drive. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, I used to live at New Oscar
Oh, that's because I've got an extra letter in there left my computer. No, that. Yes, big one.
That's where Heather does the majority of her shopping.
Let us know next if you know you're going up there. I'll meet you sometime.
You just
Might
got to
even
watch
bring you with me.
your belongings up there. You got the idiots on the little mini dirt bikes terracing around the car park, robbing people. Need to go to that pub just for the name alone, the Beggar's Bush. Yeah, we know that area quite well, guys. As I say, it's only literally a couple of miles from here, 3 mile at the most, if that. No, that's all right, Gary. I'm quite open where we live. You know, we're in Sutton Coldfield. Very few people know exactly where, but if they wanted to, they could probably work it out from some of my outside videos. But
we appreciate the fact that you don't want to dox us.
yeah, no, that's fine, Gary.
Thank you.
They're opening another, or trying to get planning permission for another big grocery supermarket thing there, because the old DIY plate, what is it? What's the DIY one there that's shut? Home base. Home base is shutting. No, it's West Midlands, Gary. Sutton Coldfield.
Sutton in Hull. No, Sutton Coldfield near just north of Birmingham.
Just north of Birmingham.
Sutton is in Surrey.
Yeah, there is a Sutton in Surrey, and there is one up north as well. In fact, there's quite a few places. Sutton. But no, we're Mess Midlands, yeah. Mess Midlands. But we're far enough out of the city that it doesn't really affect us what happens in there. No, it's not an estate here, Gary. It's a town.
What does he mean in Hull?
Oh, it might be up there, yeah. We got quite a famous park just the other side of the town there, Royal Sutton Park. Well, they used to have a stage for the RAC rally in there every year. A short stage around the park. Yeah, in Hull. Yes, Gary. We got invited to a wedding up there in November. Unfortunately, I can't make it to a friend of mine. Hello.
Thought I'd pop on for a bit.
Yeah, pop up, darling. No problem.
Let me just turn that down because my headphones was like ridiculously loud.
Well, we got the big microphone here, and
I've only got my little one.
yeah, I've only got a little one as well. But there you go.
Look, do you want to see my my Blue Peter entry? Right, this microphone used to have a stand on it, and Dan, if you're watching, I'm really sorry, but I broke it. It had a built-on stand, and there's no way of connecting it to like a tripod or anything. So I it's currently on a bloody yogurt pot with a little hole cut out.
No, I was going to say I have got a tip for a microphone stand here, but it wouldn't take one that size.
It doesn't anyway. It's got nothing on it on the bottom. There's no hole or anything like that.
There isn't on this one. It slides into like a gripper with rubber band type things, elastic round it to stop it bouncing around.
No, this works anyway.
That is me. My camera is strapped on a phone stand with a hair bobble.
Have you not got? Hang on. Let me get it. Look, I've got. You can get those. I bought this for like a tenner off Amazon, I think it was. And it's got a
Yeah.
little phone. It's a full tripod.
Yeah,
It all extends out and everything.
I've got 2 of them down there with my studio lights on that Dan gave me.
Yeah. And it's got a little phone gripper on it as well,
And
which
if you want to
this one comes
put a
off.
little one on a table, you got those.
Yeah. That comes off so that I can actually put my camera on it if I'm using my
We got
camera.
those with the flexi grippy.
Oh, they're brilliant. They are.
I use that one when we're fishing because I like to have a camera down by the fishing rods. And what I do is I wrap that around the railing on
Yeah.
the seawall and then move that. So
And
the
of
camera's
course,
looking at the rods.
I've got the
Oh,
one
the
that
big
you
one
gave
I
me as
gave
well.
you, yeah.
Yeah.
They're brilliant for overhead filming, that one.
Yeah. Well, what I'm probably going to be doing is getting back into my ASMR channel. And what I can do with that is I can actually attach my, hang on, where is it? Where is it? My little, that's what I use to record the sound on. But it's got a thingy on the back that I can attach it onto there and I can hang it over.
Yeah.
So like I can do different things rather than just having a close-up of
Well,
the
with
digital
that
recorder.
balance on that one, you can probably have your camera and that mic and everything all hanging off the same one.
Yeah.
You know, I've got 2 cameras on one bracket up there mounted on the stand that Dan gave me with the monitors.
Yeah.
And then I took the plastic bung out the top and I've got a ring light stuck in that.
My ring light is literally just behind my computer, but like when I'm filming, I'll have like one that side, one that side, and then the camera in the middle. And the lighting just works better like that.
Well, I've got, hang on, let's see if this will.
I daren't move this webcam because the slightest little bit of vibration in it fucks me off. It's like, no, I'm going to die now. So I'm not even going to attempt to move it.
I've got my big camera on it at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's sometimes I do the videos from there with the flag in the background. But at the moment, I've been using the camera that I normally use up there is up there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that keeps stopping and freezing.
Yeah.
And I had that tripod set up with another mount on the top with my phone on it. And then that curly, whirly, grippy thing halfway down the tripod with my GoPro on it. Because we were going to try and film the aurora. But if we could see it. But unfortunately, we can't.
Yeah.
But I've got another camera as well. Obviously, I've got my Canon. But well, you know what I've got here. You've seen my bag of bits and pieces.
Yep. You'll have to excuse me. I'm literally in the middle of a 3-way conversation between my mum, my dad, and my son about the exact same things. My dad and my mum are in the same room, by the way. So just bear with me. Oh God.
Yeah, send that over, Amroth. I don't know whether you're in my Discord because you could get into there.
Well, if you sent it on Messenger, it's on Facebook, love.
Okay. Well, I haven't had any alert, but
Bloody light has just randomly come on this fucking webcam now. Honest to God.
mine randomly goes out.
Hey, is mine coming on when yours goes off?
I can't fit now. I didn't say nothing about it on Friday when we was on Heather's Live.
Mm-hmm.
And I managed to last the distance till 10 o'clock on there, which I was quite surprised at. And that camera never glitched once.
It did go fuzzy a couple of times.
Yeah, it went out of focus a couple of times. Yet tonight, I had it on before I came on live, and that's 3 times it's frozen tonight already. I just don't understand the bloody thing. It's like it's like, well, I'm not going to play the game with you tonight. Fuck you.
No. No.
And the best one is the one that I'm using now. And again, that's the one that Dan gave me. He sent me a box of several webcams and said, pick one and just give me back the ones you don't want. And that's the one I picked out of the box, and it works perfectly.
Hmm.
I don't have any issues with it.
Yeah.
Now I'll put it on autofocus, obviously. Gary Moore, Thunder. Oh, we love watching lightning.
I love it. I love thunderstorms. I will literally turn everything off and just sit there listening to like the thunder and watching the lightning and hearing thunder rain as well. That really heavy rain that you get with thunderstorms is just immense. I will go and stand in the garden in it. I'll happily just go and stand out in it.
It's what we pray for on holiday. Good weather during the day for fishing, and then the thunderstorms at night, because they're absolutely brilliant up there.
Mm-hmm.
You look across the estuary and the lightning will light up the whole of the Scottish coastline up the estuary.
Oh, wow.
Or if it's inland, because we're on the start of the flat area after the Peak District, basically. Lake District. So you've got all the hills and that in the background, and you can see it coming across there and lighting all the hills up. And
nice.
absolutely amazing. You can see so much of the sky.
We've only had one.
Karen hides from it.
No, I love it. I do. There's just something, I don't know. There's something cleansing about storms.
Oh.
I don't know what it is.
I mean, I was doing some filming of one out the window here, and heard a real sound, very strange sound after a lightning flash.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know when you get a real tight piece of wire, a long wire like you get holding up the lampposts and telephone poles, where you hit it with something, you get that like a reverb. We heard something like that. I couldn't figure out what it was, and I broke the video down, cut different bits out, slowed it down, and it was the fucking school kids over the road going, "Woo!" It's lightning. I'm like,
oh my God.
Good evening, bro.
Mind you, talking of kids, I was sat here the other night. I was sat in the living room. I was just chilling. I think I was on the Xbox. And all of a sudden I can hear my door being kicked in. And I was like, what the actual fuck? And it took me a couple of seconds. I was just like, what the fuck? And then I was just like, right, someone's coming through my door. Went to the kitchen, grabbed the fucking biggest knife I could get. I was ready. And then it stopped, and it was literally repeatedly boom, 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 boom. The letterbox was rattling, everything. And then it stopped, and I could just hear all these kids. So I ran upstairs, I'd look out the bedroom window, and sure enough, there's just a bunch of kids going around kicking people's doors in. Nice. I was like, you fucking little cunts.
I mean, the most we used to do was knock on them and do a runner,
Oh no, this wasn't knock door bunk. This was they were proper kicking shit out of my front door. And it just so happens that my Ring doorbell battery had died that day. Okay, my webcam light is going on and off. Just stop.
Stop. Bring you down.
Oh.
Stop kicking the table.
I'm not. I'm literally doing nothing. See?
The light reacting to the camera's reacting to the light as well. Oh, it might be your screen, actually.
I'm not doing anything. I'm not touching it. I'm not doing that. Just stop. If I touch this, it's gonna go haywire now.
Well, I'll tell you what, Gary. The first time Heather took me up to the lakes, we stopped in a lovely little place. It was an old stables. The bedroom was downstairs, and the living quarters were upstairs. And it had a big old stable door, and it was when we had some real bad floods. pissing down with rain, and there was a beck literally just across the driveway, and we watched it coming up and up and up and up. I thought, well, if that comes up another 8 inches, we're going to have a waterbed. Evening, chaff. But luckily enough, it didn't. But yeah, it went from like a little trickle to about 4 foot deep.
Mind you, it's like my back garden, the path. We've had so much rain today that the whole path is underwater, like by like that much. And
Oh,
the poor
we do.
dog, the poor dog can't walk down his normal path. It's like, oh, there's water there. What do I do?
We have the problem with the parking out the front. You know where we park our cars.
Yeah.
On the slabs there, because it's on a hard base, hard packed, not a hard base, not concrete.
Mhm.
The slabs are only laid on sand and gravel, and with the amount of rain we've got, there's no drainage there because nobody put any drainage in down to the road.
Right.
So that builds up, the water builds up under there. The slabs are all rocking where the sand's been washed out, and it's just sat on the gravel. When you walk up, the slabs are rocking, but they're rocking in about 1.5 inches of water. So when it's wet, if you step on the wrong one, you'll get a squirt of water up your trouser leg.
Yeah. Yeah. My mum had that at the bottom of her garden. My dad is a bit of a budget and scarper. He gives it his best effort. Don't get me wrong. He bloody tries, but he hasn't got the skills. And he laid some slabs at the bottom of the bottom of the garden. And yeah, they have that every time. If it's rained, if you walk on the wrong one, you get absolutely
You walk on any of them, it's like them game shows on telly. You know, you got to follow the path through to get to the door dry. The postman has learned it. Yes, I'm Rob. I mean, I used to love being up the woods after the rain. Sitting up there while it was raining under my tarp.
Yes, there is something about just being surrounded by trees. It doesn't matter whether it's raining or if it's sunny or what, but being surrounded by trees is just that's second best to being around the ocean for me.
We've got some tall ones out the back that were in neighbours' gardens, but out the front, the school's got a lot of trees in their land there. And when there's no traffic, you can hear the leaves, you can hear it, and it sounds like it's raining.
Yeah.
I mean,
Matt, I think my soul smells of coffee, cigarettes, and disappointment, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, I had to laugh. Karen and Smudge on Facebook. Smudge the cat. You know, the sarcastic one.
Yeah.
The one there today, you got the Karen. I've got my belly button pierced. Great. So you got somewhere to hang the air freshener then.
Magic tree, anyone? Magic tree.
Oh, some of the ones on there just brutal. Absolutely
brilliant.
brutal with him.
Bloody brilliant.
It's Smudge the Cat and Karen or something like that. It's the one with the blonde screaming and the white cat. I love them.
Oh, yeah, in the restaurant.
Yeah, they do all sorts.
Yes, I know which one you mean. I know which one you mean.
Oh, dear. Yeah, he rips the piss out of her, something rotten.
Yeah. Love it.
Hobbit's armpit. What, you mean hairy? Who was it put that one up earlier? Oh, talking to hobbits, I pissed myself laughing. Harry Potter rock band.
Oh God.
Oh, it was.
God, I just realised what I forgot to get from Tesco's. Sorry. Go on.
It's obviously AI. It might even have been Karen or somebody that posted it actually. But you got Harry Potter on lead guitar, giving it large. What's his name? Alan Rickman doing bass.
Snape,
Snake. You got Ginge on the drums.
Weasley, Ron Weasley,
She's what's her name? The little evil
Hermione.
wokey bitch. Yeah, her. She's just there with a corset on, looking a tart. But then right at the end, you got Dobby sat on top of the speakers going.
Oh,
It
Yeah.
was so funny. I can't remember. It might well have been. Let's have a look.
I don't think it was.
Hermione's not woke.
Oh, she is. Gordon Bennett. She's been going on about all shit. That's why J.K. Rowling turned against her.
I think we're talking about two different people.
Emma Watson.
Oh, Emma Watson. Sorry, the autism kicked in. I thought you actually meant Hermione, as in the character.
Oh, no,
Sorry.
the actual actress herself.
Oh yeah, she's been bought off, which is a real shame.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it wasn't Karen's.
That's my fault he does that, Holly, because I can't remember actors and actresses' names. So I'll go, oh, look, it's Eddie Shoestring.
Yeah, I do that.
Or
I'm
it's
rubbish
Hermione,
with real names.
Or,
Yeah. Well, Eddie Shoestring, I know it as Trevor Eve, the actor. You know, I used to be quite a TV buff, as they call them. Karen's lost internet access. Okay. But, you know, I'll watch films from 30, 40 years ago. And I'll rattle off a name. Oh, that's so-and-so. She said, well, who's that then? You know.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah,
more of
I'm-
the character. She said the character name rather than the actor or actress.
certain names will stick.
Same.
Michael Dawn is Worf. Worf is Michael Dawn. Geordie is and it's gone. I knew it a second ago, but it's gone.
It's just fucked off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happens with me.
Same. I can forget what I'm talking about halfway through a conversation.
I do. I and that's what I was saying earlier about, yeah, you know, I could do a job sat in front of a computer
Mm.
for work, but I wouldn't last. One, I don't know enough about it to do things, you know, use things like spreadsheets and shit like that. And two, I could be halfway through doing something and all of a sudden my brain would just switch off.
Yeah.
And I'll forget what I was doing, and then I've got to go and lay down for an hour. So,
Mhm.
you know, I wouldn't last 5 minutes in any job like that. It's, you
No.
know,
I have to
It's
stop my
the-
brain going off on a tangent.
It's the inability to take on new information as well.
yeah, I used to be able to do it,
Hmm.
but since the stroke,
It just kind of falls out the ear, doesn't it?
yeah, like
Yeah.
I'll do something that I've been doing for months and months and months on it. Not an issue. And I'll come down one morning, I'll start doing so, like if I'm editing, and all of a sudden I'm like, well, okay, how do I do that now?
Mm-hmm.
That is something I've done every day for the last 3.5 years.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you can't remember how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
you get like that.
2 hours later, I'll remember how to do it.
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah, see, I've been having the problem of not knowing where I am.
yeah,
Like on a journey, I know where I'm going, but I don't actually know where I am. And I can't, it's really hard to explain. Like my brain knows that I am going to X place. And the journey that I'm doing, I've done so often, but I don't recognize anything around me, and it freaks me out because then I'm like, I don't know where I am, which is actually quite scary.
I've done it. It was quite a while back, and I got to admit it was naughty of me. I'd had a smoke, and I forgot how to change gear.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Lay-by. A couple of the lads that were following me pulled in behind me. They said, "What's all right? What's wrong?" I said, "I'll be all right in a minute." He said, "What's your issue?" I said, "I forgot how to change gear." Not how
Oh
to
my
change, but I
God.
forgot where the fucking gears were.
Oh God. Yeah, God bless the UK. Hello, evening
Good evening,
princess.
Simon, little princess.
Princess. It's princess.
Now, I've actually, well, Heather noticed it before I did, Gordo. I am actually a little bit dyslexic. I've never noticed it before until Heather said it. I've always got by. But I've noticed that over the years, I use spell check more and more. I've
Mhm.
always get my spoken word mixed up. Pronunciations, usually with colours and shit.
Or pronunciations.
Or
Or
pronunciation.
pronunciations. Oh, the irony. The fucking irony.
Well, it's like someone said, "Well,
Wait,
what
hang
colour
on.
paint do you use?" I'm like,
Pronunciations.
Big Grundy.
Pronunciation.
You know, well, what the fuck colour's Big Grundy? Well, most people know it. I know that Burgundy.
But he makes
Oh,
up some
no.
amazing words.
Yeah, Gordo, I have that trouble, but that's because of my ADHD, having to read things several times before it sinks in. Like I can read, like I love to read. And I can read an entire page and then go, what the fuck have I just read? I have no idea. But another thing I struggle with is verbal direction. So like if somebody were even just like talking to people, because I've got the auditory processing issues, somebody can tell me something incredibly simple and my ears can hear it, but my brain doesn't. My brain scrambles it up and I can't make sense of what it is they're actually saying. And the amount of times that people get so pissed off with me because they're like, why are you being argumentative? I'm like, no, I just need you to explain it to me one more time because my brain didn't hear you.
But the best one is when I get it all wrong, Heather knows exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah. That's why she's the best.
Yeah, she learns my language.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh, it's so funny.
I sit here going, that's not a word. But I'm not going to tell him that that's not a word because it's such a good not a word.
Yes, it should be a word. It should be a word, but it's actually not.
No.
Yeah, or if I can't remember the word, I'll describe what the thing does or what it is. Yeah, the
Yes.
chopper upper, the splittery thing.
Yes. See, this is the thing. This is the brilliant thing with language that we can just describe things as the chopper uppy thing, and people know what we're on about. It's great.
It's like
No, I'm not medicated for my ADHD yet.
I'm trying to think of the proper name for it now.
I'm medicated for a lot of things, but I don't take ADHD specific medication.
Liquidizer. That's the whizzy up thing.
The whizzy up thing, yeah.
As opposed to the handheld one, which is the million.
Yeah, the pokery whizzy up thing. Oh, fucking hell.
My God. I'm glad I don't have to make up bloody names for all of my kitchen appliances. I'd be there all bloody
honestly,
day.
I mean, you've seen what we're like at home when me and her are chatting. If we had a camera on in here 24/7,
you could have your own show.
Oh, it'd be so funny.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the squealing cat's eyes.
Yep. Yep.
And I've got it in my head now because, well, we've booked for next year. Hopefully, we will be able to go.
I've had my holiday confirmed with my new job.
Oh, you haven't even started the job and they've confirmed it. That's fair enough.
Woohoo!
I'm even thinking of like having the phone somewhere stashed, or get an editor to do it and hang the microphone out the window to pick the squeals up.
Do it.
But that's another word I used to get mixed up with squirrels. It either used to come out as squirrel or little squeals.
Squirrel.
Squirrels.
Oh, fuck off. The camera's gone again.
or squeals, you know.
Oh, piss off.
No.
Is it going to stay where it is?
I'll leave you to entertain them for a little second with
What?
Mrs.
What?
W while I go and get a refill
What?
of my drink.
He's just going away from the camera.
He's leaving me.
No,
This
he's
camera
not.
is buggered. This is buggered. Yeah, Gordo, I've got the PTSD side of things as well. I'm a medical train wreck.
I think we're all medical train wrecks, aren't we?
Yeah, I think
Some more than
it's
others.
I think we're miracles that we're still alive. Although, like I said the other day on Facebook, I'm only alive at this point out of spite.
Yeah, I'll have a can, please.
Can I have a coffee, please, Pops?
Coffee for Holly. Today, thank you.
Oh, real problem with my legs again.
Why was up with them?
No, they just keep swelling up.
He doesn't
Oh,
like
hello.
moving.
So,
No, I try to. This is one of the things on the live stream. I sat here with this chair too low. That doesn't help. With my legs on, feet on the floor. During the day, I try to get up. See, I'm out of breath now, and that's just walking to the kitchen and back. It's yeah. I try to get up to move my legs about and stretch them out, but then I'll move them too much and I'll go into cramps.
yeah.
I mean, I was making just some simple templates for the holes, spacings for the spacer under the chair. I was just knelt down, went to stand up, and it was just like boom, instant cramp. It was. I mean, I didn't cry this time, and I didn't yell because Heather was upstairs working on the computer up there, and I didn't want her rushing down.
No.
But yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah, Gordo, unfortunately, I've got ME as well. So, like, I get the ADHD bounce, but it's only mentally because my body can't keep up. So my brain does this, and my body goes, no.
That's the thing with ME. I mean, they used to give you uppers for it before, didn't they?
I don't
You know-
know. I wish they would.
But that just makes it worse because it tires you out quicker. You know,
Mm.
you go mental for half an hour. I mean, we used to take them recreationally. We don't get them now.
Same.
But yeah, it's nice now. I've actually heard, and especially on programs and documentaries, there was one on it the other day. They do call it ME now, and then they call it chronic fatigue syndrome in the same breath. So people are getting used to. I didn't know that was the proper name for it, as you know.
Yeah.
Until
Basically,
you went
they took the term ME and tried to downgrade what it actually was by calling it chronic fatigue syndrome. It's not just being tired. There's over 250 different symptoms that come with it.
Yeah.
Okay, one of them is fatigue, but it's not like with normal people when they're tired, they can just go to bed, get some sleep and recharge. We don't do that. We are permanently running on a broken battery. So sleep doesn't actually, we are damaged on a cellular level. And basically what happens is the energy in those cells don't regenerate quick enough. So our bodies don't regenerate the energy quick enough. Yeah, Brian will know, because I think, is it Brian, I think your wife's got ME, hasn't she? Or your partner, I think. Am I thinking about the right person? I don't know.
With mine, it was like instant after the strokes.
Mm.
You know, I couldn't understand why I knew about strokes, what they did.
Mhm.
You know, I knew about the actual physical side effects of it.
Yeah.
You know, loss of use of limbs and bit of cognitive loss and stuff like that. Well, I've been getting that for fucking years, but
Mhm.
but it was all of a sudden like, well, I used to be able to walk to the end of the garden. I can't now. What's wrong?
Yep. Yep. It's literally like you go to bed one night, you wake up ill, and you never recover. And it's fucking horrible, because like every single day, it's almost like you are grieving. You're having to re-grieve for the person you used to be.
Well,
You know, and
the
people
other thing
don't get
now,
it.
I must do it this week actually to make a phone call to apply for PIP, because
Yeah.
I was still, well, I've admitted it now. I was still in a bit of denial over what's been going on with me.
Mm-hmm.
There's always been that thing in the back of my mind, like, because some days I'm good, some days I'm down. I'm not hoping that things were going to get better.
Yeah.
But as time is going on from having the strokes, I'm coming across more and more issues,
Mm-hmm.
like the COPD. Now, that's something I never considered that could be an issue with me breathing. I thought, yeah, maybe it's something to do with the fatigue,
Yeah.
but it's not. It's a separate entity on its own. Evening, Beardy.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Mikey.
It's but I've realised now that things aren't going to get any better for me.
No.
I can't walk to the hospital anymore like I used to. I rely on somebody taking me there if Heather wasn't here, what have you. And so I need that little bit of extra financial support to do things.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I'm going to apply for it.
Yeah, go for it.
Roger,
Go
good
for it.
evening.
Well, as I said to him, there's no harm in trying.
No, absolutely.
The other thing is now, obviously Heather's new job, when it kicks off, it's mainly working from home. But there's probably going to be times when she needs to go into the office or she needs to go out somewhere. And I'm going to have to get myself to a hospital for appointments and stuff. And it's stuff that's going to need financing somehow more than anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
mean, we've only got the little local hospital, but you know where the QE is. And I've been told I have to go across there, or I'll have to, what's the other one? Heartlands.
Oh, bloody hell.
Again, that hasn't got a railway station anywhere bloody near it.
No, luckily the QEH has got a railway station in there. So like if ever I was really stuck to get there, I could still do it. Not that I'd want to go there on the train.
When I had to go to the QE the last time, I did go by train. Cause it's a nightmare to drive to from here. And
it's a nightmare to drive from anywhere.
Oh, excuse me. It took me nearly an hour to walk from the station to the hospital. And it ain't that far.
Jesus.
It took me nearly an hour to walk across to it.
Bloody hell.
I had to take a few breaks and collect myself. Walking back wasn't too bad because I'd been moving around. I was breathing a little bit easier. But no, there's nothing changing with it at the moment, Beardy. I've checked into it. There is no plans to bring in the voucher scheme that people were talking about. That just ain't going to happen.
They can't. I'm sure they did that many, many, many years ago, and it was a complete failure.
Yeah, it didn't work.
No.
But they've admitted now, because of the rumours were going round about it, they've actually confirmed, one of the MPs confirmed, pardon me, that is not coming in. There will be some minor changes. This is according to an MP that I read up on, but it's not. There's nothing drastic around it, and at the moment, it is quicker and easier. They're turning around applications now in around 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
There's not so many being rejected. They know that it's right, and they're not just rejecting them out of hand simply because it's taken up too much of their time to do that. Because then they've got to go back through all the appeals, knowing damn well that when they rejected it originally, that there would be an appeal and that it would go through and there's nothing wrong with it. So they've stopped doing a lot of that.
Yeah.
What they do check into, and they do look into it, obviously, and I can understand why, is fraudulent checks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have DWP, because I'm signed off permanently. I have given them a certain amount of permission to look into some of my medical records,
Mm-hmm.
because that way they can't dispute anything. I don't need to appear. It's there in front of them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the woman that I did the last video call with, she said, just looking at you, she said, and your mannerisms and the way you are, she said, I can see that you are actually genuine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I said, well, I'm quite happy to go anywhere for your bloody experts to check. I said, but here's the name of my consultant. My consultant does have permission to give you information that you need to complete any claims and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
She said there and then that basically she didn't even need to process it while we were on the initial video. She said, you don't need to get sick notes anymore.
No.
You're off. It's dangerous for you to work.
Yeah.
And now, because I've got even more and more, she said, even back then with that one, she said, I'll back you up on a PIP claim all the way.
Yeah, that's good.
She said, that's not an issue.
Mm.
But it went back to, well, maybe I will get a bit better. Maybe things will be easing up, but they're not. Far
No.
from it. It's actually going the other way. So, yeah, Tina, we'll know now what's been said about the vouchers and shit. I actually had an email from a friend of mine who does watch the channel. I won't give his name out. His missus put in a claim just for stress and anxiety. And they processed hers and agreed with it within a month.
Bloody hell.
And the other reason they're doing it quickly is because then they don't have to send out large amounts in back claims.
Exactly, because I know of somebody who just recently, the appeal process took him years.
Yeah.
And I think he got well over 50 grand in back pay.
Yeah.
It was
the
ridiculous.
average for your basic claims is between 2 and 3 grand back claim. But even that, a lump sum, if you imagine the amount of people claiming now, because there's thousands of people going into it, imagine that coming out every month as a lump sum, rather than the dribs and drabs each month, which they can account for. It's a big hit on them. You know, I understand that. And I was even reluctant to sign on when I was unemployed. When I first fell ill, it was literally, oh, you know, I'll get more work. It's not a problem. I ain't going to bother signing on. I don't want to scrounge.
No.
But it does get to a point where you need to do it. You have to do it.
And you pay into the system for long enough.
I've paid in a lot more than a lot of the ones that are claiming off it now.
Mm.
Simply because of my age, you know. I paid my dues.
Absolutely.
And that's why I've always said that, you know, they class pension as a benefit. No, it shouldn't be. That's money that we paid in for our old age.
Exactly. And I'm sorry, but if you are on a state pension, you should not be paying tax.
No.
Nah. Even if you've got a private pension, as long as it's not over a certain amount, you shouldn't be paying tax.
Yeah, well, if you've got a private pension over, I think it's 30 grand now, they do hammer you.
Mm.
If you, I mean, I've got no private pension pot, none whatsoever.
No.
But I'm sorry, those on 100 grand a year pension should be paying fucking tax.
Yeah, they should. They should. That's why I said it. Unless it's a state pension or a pension below a certain amount.
It's about having a reasonable tax-free allowance that
Yeah.
allows you to get your state pension and a bit of personal pension and not pay tax. But if you're one of these 100 grand a year pensions, then no, you should be paying tax on it, because a lot of these schemes, they weren't taxed at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying all of them, because I don't know enough about historical pensions. But when I pay into a pension, it's not, it has the tax I pay on it added afterwards, or it's deducted before. It depends on the pension.
Yeah.
But because of that, it's income I have not received, I have not paid tax on, I have put it into a pension. Therefore, when I actually do receive it, it should be pensionable. Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
But a decent allowance before tax is what we need, and that's what hasn't gone up in fucking years, and that needs to go up for everybody.
But that's
Yeah,
what I just took there, Brian, because I have the issues with my eyes. Pardon me, and wind. Because probably since I'm here, and I started getting a headache earlier on, and it's got to the level now. I don't like taking painkillers, but it's got to the level now where I just took a couple.
Well, if you need to shut down, then shut down.
I'll at least keep going till 9 o'clock as I've been doing. I'll see how I feel when I get to that.
Yeah.
But it is mainly the eyes. I mean, they're watering now, and they're in and out of focus, and it makes it hard to concentrate.
Yeah.
Very hard.
It does.
Well, you'll see how far I've degraded when you come over the weekend. I'm hating it. I'm hating it. I'm relying more and more on Heather, and and really with her issues, she shouldn't be, holding me up basically as she is,
Beardy's war pension is currently 94 pence a week. Are you kidding me? Jesus Christ, that's a proverbial kick in the fucking bollocks, isn't it?
And my sister retired as a captain, and she got full salary pension.
Yeah, go figure.
And she got, I think it was 280,000 lump sum.
And she should be paying as much tax as possible, because we don't like her.
And because I can't stand it. She's 2 years younger than me. And the day she retired, she was employed again by the military in her old job as a civvy on 60 grand plus a year after giving her that.
Jesus Christ.
Well, the day she retired, the day she got it, she paid off her mortgage.
Wow.
And she's got I would say probably, what was mother's 300? So she's probably got best part of £500,000 to £600,000 house.
I wouldn't know what her house was like, because I was never fucking invited.
I'm just glad that when she got the contents of Mum's will, that she tried to sell her house and nobody made an offer on it. I think she was going to sell hers and take the 300 odd grand that she got from Mother's as well, and bugger off somewhere, but hers didn't sell.
Huh.
Didn't get a penny out of that 300 grand, me or my brother.
Shocking. Sorry.
Not that my brother needs it, but I could have done with a bit of it. But there you go.
But that's the sort of sister she is.
That's the sort of sister she is. She was on my back right from, well, even before she started school. She was always a little grass. Yes, Beardy, I've seen that. I found that absolutely disgusting.
£2,000 in compensation. Jesus.
Yeah, she got, it was over the race thing, diversity. She got absolutely slated for it. And it is now she's dragging the RAF and the government through the courts.
Well, I have a son, so technically, at one point in my life, I have grown a pair of balls.
And me.
Yeah, it's a shame that certain ones in government haven't got a pair and never have they?
Oh, excuse me. Sorry for yawning.
Two of the girls that have got more balls than the blokes. I'll give them that with what they've come out with. But
I can imagine.
It's I mean,
that's the thing, though. I'm not being funny, but like, there's so many women nowadays that have got to have bigger bollocks than the blokes because the blokes haven't fucking got any.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you want this feminine, wifey kind of woman, but you're forcing her to be in her masculine by taking the lead on shit, and it's just like, fuck off.
You look at, I mean, I don't like Labour anyway. I never have.
No.
But you look at how many of the blokes in the Labour Party have stood there, slated Starmer, slated Janet Reeves, slated Yvette Cooper, slated David Lammy. Yet the only one that has stood up with any balls and told them exactly what they think of them was a woman, and that was Rosie Duffield. Fair play to her.
Yeah, that's totally right, Matt. Men in overalls built Britain, and men in suits destroyed it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Matt. Just want to shot. Yeah, but
that's a good one.
You think a few years ago you could steal a loaf of bread and get a new life in Australia,
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yes, dear.
But it looks like they're going to be leaving the Commonwealth and the way it's going.
Are they?
Well, they're on about dropping the monarchy, and King Charles has said, well, I won't oppose it. He actually said it in a statement. Was it last week or the week before?
The thing is, though, I don't see the point of the royal family anymore. I mean,
I don't.
At the end of the day, I mean, even you said it the other week. Basically, the government have got to ask King Charles, or no, what was it about abolishing
King
the
Charles has to ask the government.
That was it, yeah.
And if the only way he can dissolve the government is if the government ask him to do it. He can do it, but it's a long-winded process, and it's something like if he actually dissolves the government of his own back, invoking a very ancient law, it means they can't form a government. He will actually have to run the country. To be honest, he ain't got the fucking sense to do that.
No, he hasn't. No. At the end of the day, the royal family are the biggest benefit scroungers in the fucking country.
Well, you look at who was it? I think it was Kel put up. They advertised for a housekeeper at Windsor Castle, and the money that was on offer was below minimum wage.
No.
The richest fucking family in the country are paying below the minimum wage for some of their employees.
And do you know how they get away with it? because the job comes with accommodation and. So your meals are included, your accommodation is included. So the actual money in your hand is less than minimum wage.
To me, for many years now, I mean, yeah, old Queenie, she did a bloody good job. She did what was needed. You know, she turned up for everything, but she didn't get involved in the politics. Where Chubby Fingers, he's got involved in it. He backs the WEF. He openly said he supports them.
Yep.
He's all for the zero net shit, which we know is never going to happen. It's never going to work.
No.
Especially in other countries around the world. Unless they conform, it's never going to happen, and they never will. I mean,
Yeah.
China built over nearly 50 brand new coal power stations where we've been blowing ours up to try and bring the thing down.
Yeah, they're over there building all these coal power stations, and we're being forced to friggin'
the countries that have got the most jungles and foliage that can contain carbon, convert it to oxygen, they're the ones that are the biggest polluters. Now, you look at, and this is, everybody says the Amazon jungle, the trees in the Amazon jungle. Well, there is a bigger patch of land on the planet that absorbs and stores carbon and produces oxygen, even more though than the Amazon. And that is Russia's northern wetlands.
Oh, really?
There is a big part of Russia that is just swamp, bogs, and stuff like that. And it's like our peat bogs. They store a hell of a lot of carbon.
Yeah.
Peat bogs are better for storing carbon, and marshes are better than woodlands and trees.
Literally,
but we're throwing it all out of balance.
Yeah, what we're doing is they're trying to do away with the stuff that gets converted into the oxygen we breathe. So what they're doing is inadvertently, they are taxing us on the air we breathe.
Yeah. Do you remember when plastic was introduced to save paper because of the trees? And now it's, oh no, we've got to go back to using paper because plastic sucks.
Well,
it's like
with Russia, yeah. I mean, you think about it, one of the biggest, most recent meteor hits on the planet was in Russia. But for many, many years, they couldn't go anywhere near it because it was too hard to get there through all the marshes and the bogs.
Wow.
Tunguska, something like that. Yeah, and when they got there, I think it was in the 40s or the 50s, maybe even a bit later, hundreds of miles of trees just laid flat, all in one direction, away from the impact site.
Wow.
But they couldn't get there because of the ground.
Yeah.
You know? But, you know, it's things like that that people don't consider, don't think about. Yeah, the CFC, the hole in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hole in the ozone layer. I wonder what it's doing now.
Well, it repaired itself, didn't it? It actually repaired itself.
It's like one of the times that I had to go to the hospital, my dad was driving us and we stopped off at an Asda. I got a drink. I think it was like a carton of Ribena or something. And it had the paper straw
in a plastic
wrapped in a plastic packaging. And my dad was crying with laughter because I literally stood there outside of Asda and I took this thing off and I was like, this is what is wrong with the fucking world. Fucking paper straw in a fucking plastic wrapper. He's literally, his eyes are streaming because I'm going off on one and he's killing himself laughing.
This has been my argument with recycling. Okay, we know plastic can't be, it doesn't degrade if it's buried, most plastics. Even the ones they say do degrade, they leave a residue.
Yes, they do.
Now, there is lots of things that can go into landfill that will degrade, but it takes quite some time.
Yeah.
Now, if they put into the landfill garden waste and that as well, that garden waste breaking down creates the bacteria which will break other things down quicker.
Mm-hmm.
But they won't mix the two.
No. No.
You know?
But
It's like
whatever-
using hemp. Hemp, you can make paper, you can make containers, you can literally make so much clothing.
Textiles, oil,
Yep.
paper.
It's so versatile. And I think, if I remember rightly, I might be wrong on this, so correct me if anyone knows, but I'm pretty sure at one point in America, it was kind of mandatory to actually grow hemp because it contributed to so much of the economy and so much of like the communities and things like that. It was a necessity to grow it.
Well, you'd think most of the old child ropes were made out of hemp
Yeah.
and natural fibres, you know.
no, no.
Better in Rizzler.
Yeah, but the thing is, you get to a point, you go, fuck it, I'm going to smoke my jumper.
Yeah.
But never get, it's not that part of it that's used for it. It grows quicker. It goes further.
Yep.
Most things, you know.
You can make plastic alternatives from hemp that actually degrade within a couple of months.
Yep.
So why aren't they using it? Oh, that's right, because it's all about this and all about the control.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, as Matt's put there, it was used for ropes and ships. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, and it's faster growing. Exactly, Brian.
Yeah.
And you don't need, you can grow it like bamboo. You don't need the actual weed side, the weed varieties. See what I mean about messing me word up? It's a different type that's grown for the different things.
Yes. Yes, it is.
You know. I wouldn't fancy smoking the toilet paper though, Gordo.
No.
We've had the plastic ones before, and they don't wipe nothing off. It just spreads it around a bit. Do you remember that at school? It was only ever good for tracing paper.
Yeah. Oh, it really was. It was grease-proof frigging tracing paper that we used to wipe our asses with.
God help
Kids
you.
kids nowadays do not know they were born.
God help you if you use the wrong side.
Yeah.
But it was handy because if you had an itchy ass and you screwed it up, it used to scratch it at the same time. Yeah.
Oh, Roger. Jesus Christ, man.
Oh, come on, what do you expect?
Oh,
Nothing less. I don't.
laughing and that gives me a headache.
Yeah, don't. Your
Oh,
camera's gone all fuzzy again as well.
That's because I moved towards it. Oh, come on, sort yourself out.
Take your hand away from it slowly so it readjusts. Nope, didn't like that either.
Right, well, let's turn it off and turn it back on again. Oh, that's a better.
Have you tried switching it off and back on again? No, it'll come back into focus.
It will eventually. No, we were doing something here the other day, and there we go. And I was cracking funnies about it, and I started laughing that much that I run out of oxygen. I nearly passed out.
Mm-hmm. Have you got one of those oximeters or whatever they're called for your finger?
No.
Get one off Amazon because it will measure your blood oxygen levels.
Well, this is what I'm hoping once I've seen. You look better out of focus. Cheers, Gordo. This is what I'm hoping, that once I do get to see a consultant about this, about the COPD, that I can, he can tell me what I'm going to need, you know, because there's obviously going to be, like Dan, there's going to be certain equipment that I'm going to need at home. Now, we know the NHS don't supply a lot of shit. They won't even supply me with a blood pressure machine.
No, I've had to get my own.
So that's where the PIP's going to come in handy, because I'm going to need stuff like that. You know, me hematologist has already said I need to keep an eye on my blood pressure. Well, I've been keeping it under control by how I feel. You know, I can tell just by the feeling in my head and my limbs when my blood pressure's up.
Yeah, same.
So I calm myself down. I bought 2 blood pressure machines. Both of them broke on me. Yes, they were only cheap ones. But, you know, and then the PIP can be used for stuff like that. It can get the equipment that I'm going to need that the NHS can't provide.
Yeah.
You know, because eventually the puffers and stuff like that, they're going to turn around and say, well, there's so many people on it now that we can't afford to give you them free. You can end up having to pay for them. Same with oxygen. For the ones that are a lot worse than I am, a lot of them need an emergency oxygen bottle. Well, I can remember, who was it? I know he's a little bit of a grifter anyway. Tyrant Finder, his missus is on the oxygen. And they started up a fund for her to get her oxygen bottles because he just couldn't afford them. And the NHS wouldn't pay for them. And, you know,
I know loads of people that have got COPD who need the oxygen bottles, and they get them on the NHS.
Yeah.
It's whether it's the level of it or whatever. But I have been told the oxygen bottles are a bad thing because you end up more reliant on it rather than your body trying to sort itself out.
Yeah.
It just relies on the constant intake of the oxygen. You know, yeah, I know there are people that need it.
You need it to stand upright. You need it.
That are at that level. Then yes, it should be provided. But
Dan has an oxygen bottle, but he's waiting for a lung transplant.
Yes, Stuart, there are private companies, but even when they wanted to monitor mine just for a week, the GP said, well, we haven't got any available. We can't give you one. I said, well, you ain't going to get it fucking monitored then, are you? And then I went in a month later and saw him, and he said, well, we'll take your blood pressure because we haven't took it for a while. At which point I produced 2 A4 sheets of tests 3 times a day that I'd done with my own machines before they broke down. I said, well, there you go. You couldn't do it. I've had to pay through me, you know, out of my own pocket to give you what you fucking need.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh. I said, well, you told me you couldn't provide me with one. You know, they're not that expensive. I mean, the ones I had were only like 15 quid a pop. And you're not going to get anything half decent for that anyway, but they did work for a while.
Yeah. I'm having to do mine twice a day.
Yeah, well, what I did then was, while I was using them, I was learning when the blood pressure goes up, what activities I was doing, where I was when it went high, what I was doing when it dropped real low. And I taught myself through that how the body feels at that time.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm feeling, because what I did, I put the 2 pressures down, the heart rate, and I also put down any symptoms and activities by the side of it. So I could see what was putting my blood pressure up. Even eating a big meal.
Yeah, that raises your blood pressure.
Yeah. putting it bluntly, going for a dump.
Well, actually, it raises most people's blood pressure. Mine actually fucking hits the deck when I eat.
Well, you look at that time, it was when I first started doing it, when I done a reading live on one of Dan's lives.
Mm.
It went over 200. It was like 230, above 90 something.
Madness.
You know, and I'm like, fucking hell.
You did.
You know, technically I should be dead. I should be having a heart attack. I've still got the sheets somewhere. I don't know if they're in the folder down there with the other letters, but yeah, I slowly learned that, I didn't need to look in the mirror and see me going bright red to know my blood pressure was up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was, it's took me a while to, you know what I was like. I couldn't really accept what was happening. Heather noticed it, but I am coming to terms with it now that, you know, this is the way it's going to be from now on. It ain't going to get any better.
It takes time. Like I said before, you've got to go through a grieving process of who you were, because that's essentially what's happened. You've literally become this completely different person for reasons that are out of your control. And there's nothing you can do to change it. It's like a lot of the time when I'm tired, you know, someone will say, oh, just go and have a lie down, go and have a sleep. It doesn't work like that.
No.
It doesn't work like that, unfortunately.
I mean, I'll go to
It does
bed.
fuck all.
No, I'll be honest, I do go to bed early, usually between 9 and half 9.
Mm.
But I won't sleep
Yeah.
because my brain won't shut down. So
Yeah.
I'll have the telly on up in the bedroom. I'll try and concentrate on that. Eventually, I'll fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Telly. It might only be for an hour, but then I can't sleep for the rest of the night.
Mm-hmm. See, this is one thing that I've never understood about ME. When I'm in an ME relapse, like I am now, my insomnia kicks in, so then I can't fucking sleep. It's like, what the fuck? I've got this illness that is essentially exhaustion, and now my body's going to tell me that it's not going to let me sleep either. Are you fucking kidding me?
Hello.
Well, at the start, I tried to find my limits to everything,
Yeah,
but then I
it's all
started.
about pacing.
But those limits with me change from day to day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like,
Have you
one day
ever?
I'll
Have
go
you?
out there and cut the grass? I'm fine. Another
Have
day
you
I'll
ever?
go out there and look at the grass and I'm knackered.
Have you ever heard of the spoon theory?
I thought that was a sex thing.
No, there's actually it's a well-known thing now, and a lot of people with chronic illnesses describe themselves as spoonies because of the spoon theory. Basically, this girl, she had lupus, and her friend always took her to like different appointments and things like that. And this one day they were sat there, and this girl turned to her friend who had lupus, and she was like, "What is it actually like to have lupus?" And this girl was like, hang on, this friend of mine has been coming to like all my appointments. She helps me with my illness, everything like that. So they were in a cafe. So she went and grabbed a load of spoons. And she said to this girl, she's right, run me through your daily routine. And so she handed the girl these spoons, and she went, "You've now got lupus. Run me through your day." So the girl was like, right, well, I get up. And so she took a spoon off her. And the girl was like, okay. She was like, well, I'll go in the shower. She took 2 spoons off her. And she was like, okay. And then she's running through her like morning routine. And even before she'd even got to leaving the house, all her spoons had gone. And the friend was like, but now I'm out of spoons. What do I do? She was like, well, now you're going to dip into tomorrow's spoons just to go to work. and you don't get those spoons back. It's kind of like always being in your overdraft. And it's a really, really good, it's a good way of a visual to show people what it's actually like. Lupus is it's an I think it's an autoimmune, or is there, I think there's autoimmune lupus and then systemic lupus. Essentially it's a chronic illness. Your body just attacks itself, basically. I know lupus is a little bit worse though. You get things like random inflammation. You can get damage to your liver, things like that. But yeah, that's essentially what living with a chronic illness is like. It's awful.
Yeah, I mean, Brian's going on there about the autoimmune system.
Yeah, I think he's saying that lupus is autoimmune.
But that's something I have to be very, very wary of, because with the issues with my blood, I'm very, very susceptible to infection.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you know, if I get an infection in my lungs, that can be exasperated by my blood problems.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I've had a little insect bite that would never bother me. All of a sudden, I'll get one where it blows up like a golf ball, where the body's just not fighting it,
Mm-hmm.
because the red blood cells swamp the white cells, which are the ones that work on bacteria and shit in your body.
Yeah.
This is what me hematologist has told me. She said that's why, not only because of the blood thinners will you bleed a lot, she said in some respect that can be a good thing, because it will stop that wound getting infected, because the bleeding will get rid of a lot of the infection and stop it getting back into the blood, as it were.
Yeah.
You know, it's but yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, I'm getting uncomfortable now. I'll start getting cramp in a minute. I'll give it another 10 minutes and then I will probably shut down.
Well, if you're only going to give it 10 minutes, can I ask Holly a question, please?
Yeah, of course you can.
Do you sleep with your phone on the bedside table?
Yes.
Move it. I heard
Yeah.
something.
I am guilty of that. I'm also guilty of not turning my Wi-Fi off at night.
Yeah, I heard something last night, and you need to be apparently you need to be at least 3 feet away from a mobile phone at night, or it tricks your brain into thinking it's day and makes it very difficult for you to sleep. What was it?
Melatonin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's to do with that. Now, I got used to sleeping next to my phone because I had to have it there in case mother had a fall or whatever. And I go through these nights where I can't sleep. I lie awake for hours, get up, go to the toilet, lie awake for another couple of hours, go back to the toilet. And I'm resting, but I'm not sleeping. So we have the issue that we're both keeping each other awake. But I'm wondering how much of this is down to the fact that my phone is by the side of me on the bed, on the bedside cabinet.
And like James has just said as well, food goes into it. Not just the ME that he's saying, but like high carbs, sugars, things like that. I mean, you know, Roger, you'll drink Coke all day long. And that will attribute to you not being able to sleep. And it'll also attribute to the cramps and the restless legs as well.
Yeah, I have cut down quite a bit on it, actually.
I'm better off having a cup of coffee just before I go to bed.
That's because you're ADHD, sweetheart. That is an ADHD trait.
Just to answer Stuart there, Stuart, if you go to www.nhs.uk/COVID/ underscore in the middle, whatever, invite, minus thing again, preferences, give them your NHS number, and you can actually have that removed. They won't send you any more texts and notifications or invites. It's the invite preferences. If they send you a text for boosters or anything like that, that will stop them doing it. I did it yesterday. And you'll get an email back saying it's been accepted and they won't send you anymore. Yeah, Lodger, my cramps are due to the my red blood cell level. Well, not red blood cell level. I've got too many what they call fat red blood cells.
He's not having my tonic. He'll make me gin as well.
But yeah, I don't like tonic water anyway. You know, if it's fizzy, it's got to have some sort of flavouring in it.
Magnesium, I can't remember which type of magnesium, is also good for restless legs and leg cramps as well. I think it's not magnesium citrate. There's a different one. There's different types of magnesium for different types of things. And that can be really good. I've got a really good magnesium spray for my legs because I get restless legs sometimes, and it does calm it down a hell of a lot.
Yeah, that's Stuart. I've never had anything. I've never been jabbed. I've never had any boosters. I've never had any flu jab. But they kept sending me these texts and emails and what have you. But now that I'm off the list, so I shan't be getting any more. It's an easy process. Process. See, this is where I should
listening to all.
Literally, all you've got to do is give them your hospital number and your date of birth. They'll send you a code before you input it, just to make sure it's you. And then you just press decline and they'll take you off the list. The only magnesium I use is fire lighting. I've got I'm not chewing on a magnesium stick.
Spoil sport.
Yeah. Look at him glowing. Yeah, it's just me. Yeah.
Woo!
I didn't go down that route. But yours, yeah, but it stops the letters as well, Stuart. What they do then, they'll send you one letter a year. If you're eligible for the flu jab, that they send you one invite for that, and that's it. This is what I had as well from my GP. I had a big taboo with them to do with them around the surgery.
You're really struggling with words tonight, aren't you? Words.
That's why I say I'm losing concentration now. See,
words have gone off sick.
What I did, I actually spoke to a doctor because I said, well, look, this is doing my head in. It's causing me stress. You can see from my records that I've never had a jab. You can see from my records that I've declined every booster, flu jab. So why do you keep sending me texts and messages? And he said, oh, it's a standard thing. I said, well, can't you block it or something? He said, well, then we'd have to block your phone number, which means the surgery won't be able to contact you if we need to. I said, well, I don't want you to contact me for anything. I don't come in for any well-being and well-man checks. I don't come in for any checks. The only time that I want contact with you lot is when I want to make a bloody appointment or I need a prescription filled.
Yeah.
I said, that is the only time I ever want you. That's all you're there for now.
It's like my pharmacy kept trying to push for my phone number and I was like, no. Because I'd go down there and I'd say, oh, I've got a prescription, blah, blah, blah. Oh, have you had a text from us? No, I'm not signed up. Oh, well, you'll know when it's ready if you know,
Well,
blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you don't need my phone number.
they've
And they
got
just
my
kept
number.
badgering for my fucking phone number. And I'm like, no. Well, can we have an email then? No.
And they said the same thing to me. We'll let you know when your prescription is ready. Boots used to, simply because I used to go around and collect it. But because I can't even walk round to the pharmacy now, which is across the road from the bloody surgery, we have them delivered. They do the free delivery thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't need to know when it's ready. I know they're ready when the guy knocks on the door and gives me a bag. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And they don't ring me.
Yeah. I've contemplated having that actually.
Do it.
Just have them delivered instead.
Do it. It's
Well,
so easy.
Yes, sir. This was my beef with the doctor. I said, you're quite happy to give me an appointment when you want to see me, but you won't give me an appointment when I need to see you.
Exactly.
And luckily enough, I am one of the lucky ones because I kicked up merry fuck around there one day to the point where they nearly took me off their list.
Grumpy old man.
No, I said, look, every time I come in here, I've got a few issues, medical. I said, so sometimes I need to see a doctor about it. I said, and every fucking time I come in here, I have to see another doctor, a different doctor. I have to explain my whole fucking medical history because they can't be asked to read up on it. I said,
Yep.
You've got one doctor in here that I have seen more than once. I said, I do not have to explain my history to him. So if I'm coming in or I made an appointment and I want to come in, I don't mind waiting a little bit longer to see the same doctor each time.
Mm-hmm. Because they only give you a 10-minute slot.
Yes,
so like you spend that time bloody telling them everything.
Yeah.
And then they try and rush you out the door and it's just like, well, what's the point in that?
Luckily enough, they understood my position. And now I only deal with one GP.
Mm-hmm.
They've got God knows how many there in the practice. And if I need an appointment, I just say I need to see my doctor or I need to see the nurse if it's for a treatment of something.
Yeah.
And it works a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
The one I did trust round there, unfortunately, she's gone now, was the one that caught me blood clot on the brain.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'd been going around there for weeks and weeks and weeks, complaining about headaches. I'd already collapsed at work and just dismissed it.
Oh, fucking hell.
And I went round there one day and I was in tears. I was in so much fucking pain. I just wanted to bang my head against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctors, we'll prescribe you some more painkillers. And one of the older lady doctors round there said, I'll see the gentleman in a minute if he doesn't mind waiting. And within 5 minutes of looking at me and listening to me, she wanted to ring an ambulance there and then. She'd already arranged a bed at the hospital.
Yeah.
She said, you can get yourself around there in a taxi or I can get an ambulance here for you now, but you need to go into hospital now.
Yeah.
I elected to go by taxi and the hospital is literally 10 minutes from here walking and the surgery is 5 minutes walk. And between the surgery and the hospital, I'd thrown up 3 times. So I had to get the taxi driver to stop.
Yeah.
And I ended up in there for weeks.
And
yeah,
well, it's like
knew instantly what it was, yet the others couldn't see it.
I was at the doctor's down by me for years and years, and I'd gone back and forth with head pain. And funnily enough, it's on the side of Kevin. And I kept getting fobbed off, have these tablets. Oh, it's probably just nerve pain. And I even said to the doctor once, says, look, my psycho ex-boyfriend knocked me unconscious by smashing my head against a floor repeatedly. could there be damage that hasn't been picked up on? Oh no, it's probably just nerve damage. Anyway, this went on for months. I was literally having crippling migraines. And I just thought, you know what? I'm changing my doctors. So I changed my doctor's surgery to one on the other side of town. I went there, and of course I was starting with the bloody twitches and the stuttering and the neurological issues as well. And I went and signed up to this new doctor's. They got me in for an appointment, and I explained everything to this doctor. She got me in for an MRI, and within 6 weeks, the results came back. And yeah, we are. Hello, Kevin. And that's where we are. And all this time, all the headaches I've been having is because of Kevin.
I'm just looking for something. It looks like I've filed them somewhere.
I need to change my earpiece. Hang on. I will. I'm coming back. I can still hear you.
It wasn't until they did the CT scan for the blood clot that they found I'd had a fractured skull for 10 years. You know, I was just trying to find a picture from the scan I took off of the disc I've got. But yes, Jay, the family doctor idea, literally that's gone out the window because of the amount of people in the country now. But I think this is what fair news to the government, it's never going to happen. But this is what they were saying about putting more GPs and doctors in the communities. So you've got a community doctor. Well, that's well and good, but they're not going to have enough of them that are trained to be able to go back to the old family doctor ways. I mean, we had one doctor with a family that I saw for the first 20 years in my life. 9 times out of 10, he'd come out for a home visit because we didn't live in the town. And obviously, because he's the only one that ever used to see us, he knew the whole family's medical history.
Yep.
Off the bat. Yes, it did change. At one point, they built a new surgery and he retired. But even though it was like a big new surgery in the middle of an estate, you still only saw the one doctor. And I think that's where the GP surgeries now have gone wrong. It's because they do have too many patients.
Yes, they do.
There's not enough GPs to go round. Then you've got the extra expenses of having fucking interpreters and stuff like that with I'll call them races of people that are going to see the GPs now. Plus, they're seeing a big rise in issues that they never used to come across because of immigration that have brought the different problems with them that we never used to have in this country. You know, there are different minority groups that do have different issues to other groups, and it's separate and contained within that race, as it were. And the government are right. The NHS hasn't kept up with need, but the need has increased that much, that quickly, that they couldn't keep up.
Mm.
Plus, you had the brain drain of all the doctors fucking off back to the various countries where they come from because they can earn more money there. And that's why I've always said now, it's because of that the NHS are having this problem, because they relied too much on foreign staff coming in, thinking they were going to stay in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't. And now we haven't got enough of our own trained doctors and medical staff to cover the amount that are leaving, and that are leaving now still.
Yeah.
Because of the time it takes to train them. You know?
But it's always been the case that people from other countries came here to train because it was the best training. It was the best place to be trained was over here. And they had every intention of going home to look after their friends and families once they were at a stage where they were
Well,
able to go home. They knew what they needed.
You
to.
look at the 50s and 60s. Most of these third world countries, I'll say Africa just for reference, okay? Most of their doctors came here, like you said, to be trained here and then go back. Back in the 60s, there was very, very few of them actually stayed and practiced in this country. Because well into the 60s, there was still people out there. I'm not having a colour doctor treat me. I want to see an English doctor. Now, can you imagine you walk into a surgery today and said that? You'd never get to fucking see one.
No.
You know?
Well, you'd be taken straight off there.
Yeah, you'd be taken straight off the list for racism anyway. But no, and that was, I can remember that in my youth, people saying that. Oh, they've got a new coloured doctor down the surgery. Oh, right, I ain't going to go in there then because I'm not seeing him. And people used to rather sit at home sick than go and see one.
Hmm.
You know, it's how the NHS has changed in my lifetime. I've seen it change.
Yeah.
Yes, Stuart, and they are giving foreigners preferential treatment now about waiting times. We know they've explained what that issue is, or the most one of it isn't because there's more of them. It's the ones that need interpreters. They want to get them out of the way as quick as possible so they can bin the interpreters for the day, then start seeing English speakers. Exactly.
I'm going to drop down into the chat because
Yeah, I'm just going to say I've carried on now, and my headache is starting to. I think the pills won't kick in for a bit, but I've kept going. That's 9:30. I ain't done too bad.
I'll drop down into chat and let you say your goodbyes. So
Yeah, all right,
I will,
straight up.
I
We'll
will
see you over the weekend.
yes, you will. Love you. Bye.
Looking forward to it. Take care, sweetheart. Right, guys. Yes, I have. You can hear by this voice, and my concentration is absolutely gone. But before I go, as always, if I can get it out, oh, I hate this. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. As always, so much respect for each other and us in the chat. It's, and I keep saying it every week, it is one of the most respectful communities that I've come across on the live stream. Yes, we don't get many in. We had nearly 30 in at one point tonight. You know, I know there's probably lurkers out there that will use it and abuse it, but there's lurkers out there that I know are there, and they're there for the right reasons. So thank you to you guys as well. At the moment, as far as I know, you're going to do a stream Friday?
As far as I'm aware.
At the moment, there probably will be a stream from the lovely Mrs. W on Friday night, and obviously I'll be there for as long as I can keep going as well. So with saying that, as always, well, it's on there, isn't it? Stay safe, stay strong, stay free. So it's good night from me.
And it's good night from me.
Take care, people.
Have a wonderful weekend.
Look after yourselves and look after each other.
A wonderful week.
Take care.